So in the last video we took a look at keyboard input in Code Sculptor. We saw we could track key up and key down movements. So let's look at how that translates into making critters move around on the screen. Like if we wanted to control our ball, or in micro worlds when we want to control a turtle. Standard kind of thing to do is I have this steer method, and notice this time I went ahead and stuck my forever in here. So if I just have to call steer, and then it will call this do steer forever and ever and ever. So I just have to say steer once in my go button. And really I did that because I want to do two things in my go button. I want to hit steer and make that go, and then I want to do a click on to make the make this guy do his default behavior. And I just am doing that once. So I know if I say once, the steer is going to launch this do steer procedure, you know, in an infinite loop here, in a forever loop, and then it'll pop right back and do the click on for the turtle. And the click on for this guy is just the regular old handle click. So forward 5, wait 1. And do steer. So we're feeding in the ASCII rechar, so that's the number associated with the key. And 28 is the number associated, on the Mac, it's the number associated with the left arrow key. If you're in Windows, you have to try this, you know, check out, like the use rechar, you could use this program right here, you know, with echoing the keys to see exactly what the ASCII code is on your Windows machine for those different arrow keys. But this is the left arrow key, right arrow key, the up arrow key, and the down arrow key. So it just forever, and then it just sets the heading of the turtle, the direction that we want it to go in. So if I click go, I can steer him around like that. So he's basically forever going forward 5, wait 1 in whatever direction his heading has been set to. Okay, so that's one way to do it, and it would be a good exercise at some point to learn, you know, how we do the, you know, setting the heading on the Code Sculptor side. But I want to show you one other approach that I think we're going to start with, at least with Code Sculptor, because I want to get you guys into you know, doing, like, you know, adding images and you know, doing some more gamey stuff. So I want to start us, I think, with this approach, which is, I'm calling it V-steer because we're changing the velocity. So you know how we used dy and dx to change the x position in Code Sculptor. So here we're going to, what I did was I just set up a variable in the turtle. So you know how to do this. If you just control click in this area and say add, it'll let you, you know, stick in more state variables basically in your state tab. So I created a state variable called VEL with a capital V, short for velocity, and it has initial value of whatever you set it at. I'm going to start it at 0. So in the beginning it shouldn't be moving at all until I hit the arrow key. And so what happens here is, it's a similar idea, but what I'm doing here is I'm setting the velocity. Instead of setting the heading, I'm setting the velocity here. So it could be -5, 0, 5, 0, any of these, right? And what I did was, in rules, I still have handle click, but I wrote a private handle click that applies to this turtle. So if you have a procedure written in the private area, remember, that will override whatever's in this whatever public version of the same procedure you have over here. Okay, so this is the handle click that this turtle is going to use, okay, for its behavior. And so what does the handle click do? It says set the x core, or set x to the x core plus whatever the first value in that velocity list is. Okay, so if I set the velocity to -5, then -5 is my first value in velocity. So that's my change in x, right? So I'm going to say x core plus that first value, that change in x there. And then this y core is going to change the last, change to whatever this last value is. Okay? So what's going to happen now? Notice we're not changing the heading, so the turtle's not going to rotate, but he's going to change his position according to these changes in velocity. So let's just see what that looks like. So we can, if I do this, then I can use my arrow keys, and notice he doesn't turn. What's kind of cool about this, though, is that you can change his excuse me, you can change his heading. Like I could say set H to I don't know, 270, and still it's up to you what his, oh yeah, I gotta click in here, what his movement is going to be. So his movement can be independent of what direction he's facing. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, so like I said, I think this is the basic approach that we're going to take. Changing the velocity is going to be the way that we're going to change things up in Code Sculptor to drive our ball around. But we'll pick that up in the next video.